Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike here. The DRF race of the day for Friday, June the 14th. Stakes action in New York. Race number 6 at Belmont at the Big A. One of the New York Stallion Series races. Let's take a look at the field. These are 3-year-old fillies going 3/4 of a mile on the turf course. And of this field of 8, Mike, there's only one filly in the race with a previous turf win. And that's the number 4, Being Betty, who cuts back to the distance of that victory after a couple of route efforts.
Could be a good sign for Being Betty. You're right, then. The only turf winner in the field that came over course and distance. She didn't run well off the layoff last time, her 3-year-old debut, but that was going long. Now she cuts back.
The 1, the 2, and the 3 all have good dirt form. We'll be trying turf for the first time. And as we throw up our time form U.S. pace projector, Mike, the 2, Geopolitics, has shown big speed in both starts for Belmont. She's expected to make the pace one more time. Interesting, Mike, your opinions on this pace projector. I do think it'll be fast, but I also think the 6, Find Your Joy, could be a lot closer.
It'll be interesting to see how fast this pace gets. You're right that the 6 could show speed in here. We'll see if she's fast enough to keep up. I feel like Geopolitics, if she handles the switch to turf, which she's bred to do, she's probably making the lead in here. She's pretty fast. She's lost as the favorite in her first 2 starts, Dan, but man, did she run well in both of those races.
The number 1 is Sohana. She's trying turf for the first time. She's by Solomini, who hasn't had that many turf runners, so it's too early to tell what sort of a sire he'll be as it pertains to his turf progeny. The dam race once on turf didn't work out, has foaled 1 turf winner from 4 to try. She looked good last time out, going 7/8 on the lead in a first-level allowance race, and she's got some experience having won twice. Flavien Prat takes them out for Brad Cox. Wish there was a little more grass in the bloodlines.
Me too. I mean, your point's well taken about the Solominis, Dan. It's probably too early to pigeonhole them at this point, but they have not been good on turf so far, and there's not really that much on the dam side either. It's unfortunate. I'm a big fan of Sohana's. I actually think she's a lot better than she looks on paper, and there could be a good trip coming for her because she's got tactical speed. There's just not that much turf pedigree here, which kind of turns me off to her, Dan, but well, I'm going to wait and see what kind of price she is, because if she drifts off the 4 to 1, I'm using her.
Geopolitics, the number 2, is your 5 to 2 morning line favorite. As Mike alluded to, she's already failed both times as the favorite, but she ran really well both times, earning an 85 buyer speed figure last time on the dirt. Of the 3 horses who tried turf for the first time, she's got the pedigree. Her dams foaled 5 turf winners from 9 to try the surface, and she's a half to a couple of horses that earn black type on grass.
Yeah, really strong turf pedigree here. And if she transfers her dirt form over, she's going to be really hard for this field to beat. She got well bet in her debut, Dan. That was a super tough beat she took there. She ran great that day. And, you know, even though she ran faster last time, it kind of feels like something went wrong after the debut. There's a layoff there. She was listed as a vet scratch. There's a month gap in the work tab. So obviously something went wrong after the debut, but she still showed up. She ran another good race on dirt last time, and now she's back without a break. If she handles this surface switch, what she's bred to do, she's going to be a handful.
Yeah, that 85 dirt buyer really stands out. She runs anything close to that with her running style. She might be just showing them her heels from the get-go. My Shady Lady is the 3. This is another filly trying turf for the first time. Another one by Solomini. There is no turf on the bottom of this pedigree, but she has really held her own against stakes horses in New York. And Mike, if she can run back to some of those races, maybe she can at least get a piece of this. I like her running style for this race, and we know the distance is no issue.
I agree. I like her running style for it. You don't worry about the distance. Her overall dirt form is okay. They just run her in nothing but stakes races since the debut win. And I guess, listen, if you're going to not run fast races, but you are going to pick up a stakes win, you might as well pick it up in that Fifth Avenue that she won in December with the $500,000 purse. So all good stuff, you know, as far as that's regarding that. And this trainer is super dangerous, but there's no turf pedigree here. And I don't love this horse's dirt form.
Being Betty is the number 4. Again, this is the filly with the only turf win on the entire page. They tried the Tepin 2 starts back. Her first start against winners. It was against tougher open foes. She was kind of wrangled back in the early portion of that race, had a start and stop trip. Last time out, off the layoff, maybe she needed that going 2 turns. She fell far behind in both of those races. I don't know, Mike. She's cutting all the way back in distance here. I think she might get the right setup. I'm still trying to figure out how good she is.
Me too. She's a pretty tough call in here. I do think the 5 to 1 morning line is probably fair, just because you kind of know what you're getting, at least as far as the surface goes. And maybe she just doesn't want to go long, at least at this point. I mean, her pedigree suggests that she's going to want to go at least a mile, but her only win came sprinting, and she was off the layoff last time, so maybe she just needed the race. She was so disappointing last time, though.
At least one of the other also-rans from that race came back to win a first-level allowance for New York breds with a 79 buyer. Solo Shot is the 5 now. While both of her lifetime victories came sprinting on the dirt, she's done pretty well on grass, second in an open first-level allowance in her turf debut, then last time out fourth against second-level New York bred allowance types. In that race, Mike, she was kind of on a chase in between horses. She looked like she had a shot at the 3/16s, could only muster up an even finish. If you think some of these dirt horses aren't going to handle turf, you could argue she's got the best current turf form.
Yeah, you could argue that. I mean, she's one of those horses, Dan, who it feels like the figures are what they are for the two turf races. I'm kind of with you on the last one. You know, they just put her on a chase right from the start. I didn't think that they necessarily had to ride her that way, but they did. And ultimately, that race fell apart at the end. So maybe that's an excuse. She has the faster race too bad, but I just didn't really feel like she did that much running there. They just let her have the lead. The favorite was just sitting off her, who wound up winning that race and ran right by her through the stretch. I mean, I guess she did well to hold second. I don't know, man. She's 3-1 on the morning line. I would never take that price, but she's going to be right up close early, it would seem.
Yeah, you have to let price be your guide because in her best turf race, she's 50-1. She's 8-1 last time. At least last time out, she was in against some older horses. She did best
Yeah.
of the 3-year-olds in that race. The sixth place horse then came back to earn a stakes placing on dirt for New York breds in a stakes race. 83 buyer speed figure. Find Your Joy has only raced twice on turf. Career debut. Didn't do much going 5/8. They stretched her out to a mile and a 16th. Big speed duel that day. It didn't work out. They have kept her off the lawn since. She scored at Finger Lakes last time out. She's going to show speed in this spot. There are some class concerns. This is a very good trainer.
Yeah, very good trainer. I think she's interested in getting back to turf at a price here, Dan, because her dam was a real good turf horse. And I know that she won on dirt last time. And I know that they ran her for a tag too, first time I did, which I don't love. But the debut going 5 at Belmont, she just looked like she really needed that race. There were a bunch of horses with experience in there, and they ran 1, 2, 3, and 4. She ran 5th, but she just looked super green in there. And then she, as you mentioned, she got caught in a pace duel going long in her only other turf start. She's interesting switching back to turf.
And she's a huge price on the morning line. War Terminatrix is the number 7 for Gary Contessa. This horse has started 3 times, has finished off the board all 3. A little improvement last time out against open maiden claimers at Monmouth Park off a short layoff. Showed a little bit more gate speed, was outrun early, altered course to the outside. Wasn't going to win if she got through, but did get pinched in upper stretch.
Little bit of trouble late in that race. I'm with you. I don't think it really mattered all that much, but it was a little bit of a forward move on turf. She'll have to improve again.
Naughty Destiny, I think, from a pace standpoint, is interesting. She has the fastest time form U.S. late pace rating. And in her most recent start, her first start off with a layoff, her first start of the year, she just got wired in a slow paced race. Let's watch Naughty Destiny's seasonal debut. And she's coming from far out of it against a gate to wire winner. And she's showing some life. You can make the argument second off the layoff, she gets a little more pace to attack this time around.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll see if she can improve a little bit in this race. Maybe not even a little bit. She might have to improve a lot, Dan. She does run on at the end here. And I do like the finish that she puts in, although there was never a point where it looked like she was dangerous in this race. And I know the first 2 starts last year were going longer. I didn't think she ran well in either of those races. And I know it was a close third in her debut, but I didn't think that she ran that well in that race. I'm just not convinced that she's that good. Another horse, I'll kind of wait and see what kind of price she is.
Before we take a look at our top picks, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, Friday race of the day. Race number 6 kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. Geopolitics looks like the speed, bred for turf, coming off a big fig on dirt. She's the horse to beat.
I thought the pickings were pretty slim here, Dan. I'm going to take her. I know she's going to be a short price with some things maybe working against her, mostly the surface switch here, but she's bred to handle that. I just feel like if she transfers her form, or even close to transfers her form, she just might be too good.
I'm going to try to beat her. As you mentioned, she'll be a shortish price trying turf for the first time, but I also need a lot more than 3-1 on Solo Shot, and I'm not sure I'm going to get it with Arad Ortiz taking them out. Maybe 9-2-ish or so, but that could be a bit of a pipe dream. Curious to see what Being Betty does, turning back in distance. I think shorter right now is better for her. 2-4-6-1 for Mike, 5-4-7-8 for me. New York Stallion Series, race number 6, Belmont at the Big A on Friday. Good luck.